Here we go. Live and Dawless presents production tips. The first tip that you got to start with is you just got to do it. You know, and some of you know this, but some of you don't. You just got to start. You got to strive for progress. Don't strive for perfection. A lot of y'all are too perfectionist. It's not going to work. You got to suck for a few years. Look, you're in the age now where the sucking period is shorter. Back in the day, it took me 5 years to learn how to use a DOS tracker. Okay, you don't need that now. Everything's all automatic, and fancy. So just start, and in a year and a half, your show, your YouTube channel, your whatever, your Dawless stuff is going to be super good. But you have to start. If you're just sitting around waiting for it to be perfect, it's not going to get done. That was a production tip. Oh, shoot, I dropped the sign. That was a Live and Dawless production tip. I hope you enjoyed that. Live and Dawless presents production tips. We're going to talk about sounds. If your song sucks and you don't like it, don't delete it. You should just render it out into a WAV file and then go back and use it as like a sample or something later. I do this all the time. Don't delete anything. Sound can be repurposed. If you don't like it in that moment, just dump it in your vault of samples and then go back, and then maybe you could speed it up, stretch it out. But since maybe it's a crappy song, but it could be a good hook or a bridge or something, you might be able to warp it into something else. But just don't delete it. Just render it out, put it in a folder somewhere, and then you got it. If you aren't going to use it, then you could just sell it to your friends as a sample pack. Well, don't sell things, sell it to Splice. Say, here's Splice, here's my garbage, buy this. That's a Live and Dawless production tip. Tune into our YouTube show where I do Live and Dawless performances every Wednesdays and Saturdays. You know what's a good trick? This is Live and Dawless presents production tips. You know what's a good trick that I don't think the Illuminati is onto yet? Is going into the option menus of old video games and sampling the sound effects. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, a lot of old video games like Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that, there's an options menu. It will be like player 1, player 2, and then options. Go into the options, okay? And it'll say sound effects. And then you can go through all the sound effects. And then you sample them, you put them on your sampler, your drum machine, or whatever you're using. And you have all these cool new samples that you could use. That's a good trick. I'm not sure if the RIAA is on to the Sega Genesis sampling scheme yet, but it works pretty good for me, and I've been doing this forever. Check out Live and Dawless. This is another production tip. We have a YouTube channel every Wednesdays and Saturdays. www.liveanddawless.com. Welcome back to another episode of Live and Dawless presents production tips. Little quick tips for you producers, music makers out there. You know what's a great tip? RTFM. That stands for Read the Freaking Manual. All right? You got some gear and you're like, oh, I hate this thing. You hate it because you don't know it well enough. You read the freaking manual. You learn all the tips and tricks. It's there. You have the pro tips. You just don't read the manuals. And I understand reading sucks. Reading is for nerds, but you gotta look at the manual, okay? Because YouTubers are making tons of money making videos where they just read the freaking manual. No offense to them. That's great. Good for you. But I'm telling you, if you want to learn your gear, and if you're having problems programming your, I don't know, Yamaha QY300, RTFM, read the freaking manual, and you'll get some inspiration. You'll learn things that you may not have learned before. Check us out every Wednesdays and Saturdays. All right, some more Live and Dawless tips from your boy Will OXYGENFAD. First tip, or should I say tip talk, would be to tell you to put your content on TikTok. I know, don't be a dumb boomer. Don't be like, oh, that's not my generation. You gotta learn things when they come out. And I know learning is for nerds, but like, right? Use TikTok. For the first half hour, it's just a bunch of garbage, but when you start liking things and checking out like synth hashtags and stuff, you'll start seeing stuff, okay? Don't wait. Don't wait, because the YouTubers are coming on TikTok now, and it's already starting to get a little shitty, okay? If you want to get good engagement, good views, TikTok's a good place to be right now, all right? And not to sound like Gary Vaynerchuk, but LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is a good place to put your stuff out and get more engagement if that's what you're looking for. So that's my Live and Dawless quick tip for today. Check us out at www.liveanddawless.com. Bye. Live and Dawless tip for you for the social media people out there. You gotta automate your social media shit. You gotta use TweetDeck. You gotta use Facebook Creator Studio. If you're wasting all your time on social media, you're losing time in the studio. You start scrolling on Facebook, you get Facebook Marketplace selling a brand new model cycle synth for $300. You're like, you look at that. Like, maybe I don't need that. Maybe I need a Korg FM. 5 hours goes by, you didn't make any content. So what you gotta do is you gotta figure out a way to pre-book all your social media content, and you just gotta leave it the f alone and move on with your life like it's 1997. All right? Guess what? I ain't on here watching this tip. I'm beating you. That 1 minute you just wasted, I used it making a song. I'm out there grinding because I ain't on social media. You gotta do the same thing. Automate your shit so then the other people that are on there consume your content. There's nothing wrong with consuming content. The warning is that's gonna just waste all your time and you aren't gonna be able to do anything else. That's your Live and Dawless quick tip for today. Like, subscribe, and share. Liveanddawless.com. Bye-bye. So here's another Live and Dawless quick tip. You got to go back in time and listen to music from before now. Right now I'm listening to The Prodigy, whatever that album's called, Fat of the Land, or you start to research and learn things, just like a nerd. You got to research music. You got to listen to a lot of music and let it kind of go into your subconscious so that you have new ideas. Because if you're constantly trying to sound like other people, you suck. It's one thing to be inspired by someone. I like that sound, I want to try that trick, or I never knew that trick existed. That's different than being like, I'm going to be exactly like this guy. And that's fine if you're just starting, but when you're like 10 years in the game, are you crazy? Are you mental? So you gotta start studying and look at other things, look at other decades. I'm listening to this Prodigy now, and I'm like, how the f did they make this in 1996? They didn't have anything. What were they using? Atari ST? It was crazy. So you'll find different perspectives if you go in the past. Anyways, that's just Live and Dawless tip. Check us out at liveanddawless.com. And happy hacking. Bye-bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless quick tip for the social media. If you look in the background behind me, I got a bunch of CRT televisions hooked up to a VCR, hooked up to an Xbox running the Quake 2 homebrew. This tip is about the CRT for all y'all that are new. Lucky you that you aren't old yet. These old TVs have a weird aesthetic to them, and if you can find them in the garbage, right? Don't buy them from retro game reseller people. These guys are mental, okay? These are in the landfills. Grab a bunch of these, and you have an instant what's it called? The visual stuff to look at. That is original, it's cool in the background, and it takes little to no effort. You just slam something in the back, and there you go. It's very analog. It's got its own aesthetic, and believe me, everybody's going to be doing this in the next 2 or 3 years, right? When they figure it out. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, subscribe, and share. Liveanddawless.com. Bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless quick tip for the social media. Just have a personality. Don't be one of these people that doesn't have a personality. Because why would you want to? Some of y'all are like, originality is overrated. You know what? You're dumb. Originality is the bullet that penetrates the skull of culture. Culture has been passed through the millennia, through breakthroughs in visual representation and artistic mediums. Look at freaking Star Wars. Look at the Nintendo. So you gotta get your style and stick to your style. Don't be anybody else's style. Believe me, if you're afraid, I know it's scary because you're always gonna get some guy that's gonna talk shit about you. That guy's an idiot. It's tried and true. How many people have figured out and disassembled that guy and go, oh yeah, the hater guy, that guy's a loser. Just do whatever you want and be original. Like, subscribe, and share. Liveanddawless.com, the show where I make music without a computer, except for the webcam that's recorded. Bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless social media tip. This tip is I need the tip. I keep making the mistake of selling gear. When I was a kid, I sold one of those realistic mini Moogs for freaking pennies on the dollar. I sold a Korg Poly 6 to that band, the Deers, for like $200. And I've sold a lot of gear, and then I buy new gear, and it just the gear rotation. So I got these guitar pedals that I haven't used in 5 years. It's like I know if I sell them, I'll miss them. But I'm not going to use this crybaby. I'm not Kirk Hammett here. If I get rid of it, I'm going to want to get it back. So my question to you is, Do you rather keep gear and just in case, or would you rather sell it? Because I got my eye on a model Cycles, that FM thing. It's like, yeah, I could buy it, but I can also get rid of all the that I'm not using and buy it too, right? And trade it all in. Almost every piece of gear that I've sold, I miss, you know? And so I'm just curious about that. Not really a tip, more of an interactive question. Like, subscribe, and share. Check us out at liveanddawless.com. Bye-bye. Welcome back to another episode of Live and Dawless Production Tips. This is more of a health risk situation. There's a thing called tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to pronounce it. It's the ringing in your freaking ears, all right? And if you're over the age of 30, you probably already got it. But if you're in your 20s or whatever, it might be creeping up. Here's some tips on preventing it. When you're at a show, wear some earplugs. Now, I got these crappy ones. You boil water. It's like Play-Doh in your ear, like the dough and not the philosopher. If you don't have your earplugs with you, just get some paper towel in the bathroom at the bar you're playing at or whatever. Wet it. Throw it in your ear. It's kind of gross. It's like a wet willy. But that wet willy will protect you from a bunch of high-pitched ringing. Also, don't stand too close to the cabinets. When you're a kid, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to stand close to the cabinets so everybody knows I really like music. And then you totally f*** up your ears. So y'all got to protect your ears. So that's my Live and Dawless food for thought tip right there. Check us out on the Live and Dawless YouTube channel. Someday, www.liveanddawless.com will work. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless presents production tips. This is a dice, a Dungeons and Dragons dice. Now I know Dungeons and Dragons is for nerds, but you could get these dice for pretty cheap. A lot of music is just left up to chance. Back in the OXYGENFAD days, there was one song called Cogito Sino. I sampled a bunch of YouTube poop stuff from the Legend of Zelda CDI game. Look, that's an aside, but the point of the story is I used to spend 30 days on 30 seconds worth of glitch, making sure everything's perfect and it all sounds good, and then you release a song and like 10 people listen to it. So a lot of the times now I just leave things up to chance. Am I going to make this harder or softer? And then you roll your dice, and then it's like, if it's a 10, it's like, okay, it's going to be harder. And if it's lower, it's going to be softer. It adds a bit of mysticism to the music, and it's fun. If you sit around and you get too neurotic about your stuff, you're never going to release your song. So that is your Live and Dawless tip for today. Check out the YouTube channel, Live and Dawless. Thank you for all the support, love and support. Thank you for everybody who's commenting and sharing the links. You guys are amazing. Okay, bye-bye. Welcome back to another episode of Live and Dawless. So you're a new producer, maybe you're just a producer, and you're going like, damn, I'm kind of boring. I'm kind of lame. How do I unlame myself? You gotta get a pair of these bad boys. Look how lame I look now. And then you just put on sunglasses. The Ramones knew this. You gotta wear sunglasses if you're in the entertainment industry, all right? It makes you look cool. You gotta put these sunglasses on, and then you instantly look credible as a music person. So if you got a YouTube channel or something, and you're trying to spice up your look, you gotta get a pair of funny sunglasses. And I'm not saying $2,000 Ray-Bans. You gotta get some f***ed up sunglasses. Look at Elton John and his crazy sunglasses. Plus, if you're playing live, you get all the lights on you. It sucks. I remember when I used to drum, I could never see the crowd because all the stage lights were on me. You gotta get sunglasses, fam. That is your Live and Dawless presents producer tips. Check out our YouTube channel, Live and Dawless. Thank you for all the love and support. I totally appreciate it. Bye-bye. All right, we're back with another episode of Live and Dawless tips for the social media. Today we're going to talk about guitar amps. Back in my day, there wasn't any amplitude. There was no guitar rig. There was no Ramstein preset VST for your guitar. And now, I'm not saying it's better or worse, but let me tell you, you should get a practice amp, even if you don't play guitar. Something about having a little Line 6 Spider, like $100 practice amp, it adds characteristics to your studio sound, not so much your recording sound. Putting your keyboard into an amp, putting anything through an amp. You can put your voice through an amp. Check this out.
That's been another Live and Dawless tip. Check us out on the YouTube channel, Live and Dawless. Bye.
Welcome back to another live and Dawless production tip. I had a really good tip, and you know what? I forgot it. So today's production tip is going to be, you got to write things down, man. I'm crazy with the notebooks. You got to write things down. Get everything out of your brain onto a piece of paper. You're not supposed to be keeping all this crap in here. You got to get it out. Don't remember things. That's going to be part 2 tip. But the first one is you got to write things down. Writing things down is just, it's the GOAT. Because you're always going to think, I'll remember. You're never going to remember. You can't remember these things. Anyways, so keep a notepad so you can keep down all your music ideas and all your stuff. And I'm not talking a digital notepad. You got to write things down. Some nerd did a study where he said when you write things down, it's better than typing things down. That's your live and Dawless tip. Follow us at www.liveanddawless.com. I remember what the tip was. Welcome back to another live and Dawless production tip. Today's tip is to chew gum. So I'm going to tell you why. That's a stupid production tip. You're wrong. This is a great production tip. Create some meditation while you're chewing. Gives you something to chew on, you know. It's good for your jaw. It works the jaw muscles. You look so badass when you're chewing gum. You got sunglasses on, you're chewing gum. Camo thing. I look like I'm a bootleg arms salesman in a video game. In Minecraft, you chew gum. Looks like you don't give a fuck. That is 80% of the battle in music. Is looking like you don't give a fuck. Go look at your favorite musicians. They look like they don't give a fuck. And chewing gum and wearing sunglasses, you're halfway there, fam. I like this one. This one, it comes with xylitol. There's no aspartame in it. This is pure. Pure, if you're watching this, sponsor me because I'm buying your freaking box every now and then. I love your gum. That was another Live and Dawless tip. Be sure to check out our new website at liveanddawless.com. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless production tip. Today we are going to be talking about not remembering things. It's important to realize that your brain is a processor. It is not a memory bank. It's not a hard drive. Your brain's an Intel Celeron. It's an AMD 900. And when you're trying to remember things, it's so dumb. There's no point in remembering. You go on Google and you type in the thing. You just need to know enough to know what to Google. Because when you're putting stuff in here, it's like filling up your underwear drawer. You buy a new set of underwear, you put it in, and then where are you putting your old underwear? Right? You gotta throw it in the garbage because there's not enough room in your drawer. But you don't need to remember every single nook and cranny on all your synthesizers. That's what the manual's for. Remember where you put your manual. It's important to know where you put the manual, but you don't need to know what's in the manual. Because eventually it'll just be muscle memory. Go to our new website, liveanddawless.com. Our new website is designed by professional web designers. All right, thanks, bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless production tip. If you look behind me, there are fancy lights, but these are not fancy at all. That is a trick. I took a piece of paper, I curled it so that it made a cylinder. You staple each end. What I did today was I took the light strip and you put them in through and you pull it out and then you do it all through to here. And then you have a big light snake. It makes them like robust when you're hanging them because when you're trying to pin up those little lights, man, it sucks. It's really annoying. And you could write your own stuff. I got my websites here, liveanddawless.com, basefug.com. That's not bad for the price of a bag of kitty litter. Now, you might want to consult with your fire department before you do this. Having a candle next to the paper, I think, is more dangerous. I've had this on for about an hour, and these don't heat up at all. Do it at your own risk, but this is just a craft idea. 5-minute crafts, this is 1-minute craft. Visit us at our brand new website, www.liveanddawless.com. Thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless production tip. Today we're talking about sampling. You're underutilizing sampling. Yeah, you use sample, but you gotta just have a sampling phase. You gotta go listen to Fear of a Black Planet, Public Enemy. You gotta listen to Beastie Boys. You gotta listen to 80s hip hop and listen to how they're using samples. If you're taking a sound of a kalimba and you think you're sampling, bro, you are heavily sampling. We already talked about the old video game stuff, but you gotta like get your recorder, your cell phones. If you see a sound or like, I don't know, there's like a dog barking or something, you record it and then you bring it home, you pitch it down, and then you got vaporwave, or if you're making jungle, pitch it up. What I'm trying to say is that you gotta have a sampling base, because you're gonna learn so much about how music works and the orchestration of music. And then you can go on archive.org and find some copyright-free stuff that you can sample and stuff. Don't break the law, but I'm just trying to say sample. Try it out. You might have some good results. Live and Dawless every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Go to www.liveanddawless.com. Bye-bye. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless production tip. Today we're going to be talking about reverb and delay units. You need to get a $100 reverb unit, delay unit from a pawn shop, okay? I'm talking Digitech. I'm not talking Eventide. I'm not talking get a $600 thing or a $1,000 reverb this or... No, you got to get a $100 pawn shop reverb unit. If you talk to the guy at the pawn shop and you say, hey bud, what's the best you can do on this? And then the guy's gonna say $80. Boom, you got a reverb unit for $80. The Access Virus is basically a really good reverb unit. The Virus is 80% the effects, the onboard effects. And I'm telling you, if you get a $100 reverb delay, whatever, one of these multi-effects things that guitarists used to use in the 80s, it's gonna make the world of difference. You could bang your head against a pile of riffs and it'll sound good if it's going through the effects count. Okay, don't do that, you'll get hurt. That's your Live and Dawless production tip. Visit us at liveanddawless.com and check us out every Wednesdays and Saturdays on YouTube. Welcome back to another Live and Dawless production tip. Normies ruin everything, all right? And I used to be able to get a blank cassette wrapped shrink wrap for 25 cents. I went into my place where I used to get for 25 cents. You know what they did? For $16. That's insane. I'm never buying a blank cassette for the rest of my life. That is a chapter that is closed in this book. So what am I gonna do, you say? All these scammers are so dumb. There's always a loophole that they don't think of. You get like a regular, this is some bullshit tape, Radio 60s. And it's covers of songs from the 60s. So I get this for like 10, 25 cents at a thrift store or whatever. You can tape over these bad boys. So you get your tape here and then you put it over the top. Boom, boom, you're a hacker. You have a tape that you can tape over now. It's gonna practically sound the same. You might hear a little bit of a difference, but isn't that what you're going for? Isn't that why you're still using blank cassettes? I'm using blank cassettes because I like the weird sound it gives. Now I'm gonna even have a weirder sound. That's your Live and Dawless production tip. Check us out every Wednesday and Saturday, www.liveanddawless.com. Welcome back to another episode of Live and Dawless production tips. Today we're going to be talking about exercise. Exercise is important, fam. It gives you an idea of what a good song is. When you're being active and you're listening to music, it's different. It hits a little different. This might be a shock to you, but your body and your brain are connected to your ears. So you gotta keep your body in shape. When you're out exercising and you're listening to music, your music is like getting you in the mood. You're creating stuff in your brain so that you start to recognize how to use a song as motivation. So that when you're in the studio and you're making music, it's almost like muscle memory to start creating songs that are super epic. When I was at the gym, I would listen to Danzig and doing my deadlifts, and I would just be stoked to do these deadlifts. When I would go in the studio, I would take that same feeling of being stoked and try to apply it to certain songs. Plus, I mean, exercising is good and healthy and all that crap. That was a Live and Dawless production tip. Check us out at liveanddawless.com. Welcome back to another episode of Live and Dawless production tips. Today we're going to talk about cleaning as you go. Clean as you go is a term that I learned when I was a teenager working at a burger restaurant. Write this down. Don't put it down. Put it away. Boom. I know, your mind was just blown. Stop throwing shit on that table. Put the shit back where it's supposed to be. This Live and Dawless production tip is zoomed in for a reason. Everything off camera is messy as fuck because I wasn't cleaning as I go. And now I have to spend my entire Saturday cleaning up this damn room. So you gotta have a good habit of putting things away where they belong. You gotta find a system. I don't know what your system is gonna be, but you gotta find a system to keep everything clean, or else you're not gonna be making music anymore because all your desks and all your stuff is gonna be cluttered as fuck. Clean as you go. Don't put it down, put it away. Boom. That was another Live and Dawless production tip. Check us out at www.liveanddawless.com.